Okay. So I am here with my friend and my client called Chett. Hello, Chett. Welcome.
Thank you, Nidia. Glad to be here.
I'm so happy that you've agreed to do a testimonial with me, and we want to catch up with you. Before
Cool.
we get started, I want to tell you that I don't know if you're aware, but our session was on the 7th of January, which
Yes.
basically is exactly 1 month ago.
Oh,
And just to give you context, that it's been a whole entire month since we had our session. And yes, can you tell us a little bit about where you were before we started working together? Like in your life, in your mind, what was going on for you?
okay. Wouldn't you know, the dog decides to come walk past and bump my legs as we start.
That's
So I
okay.
was, look, I was in a bit of a hole, to be honest. I mean, I had gone through 6 months of real trauma. I've always thought that I was someone who had tools and knew how to kind of work through things, and I'd always used my body, in the form of yoga. I'd gone for healing. And in those 6 months, I landed up going to work overseas, got injured, ruptured two discs in my neck, got misdiagnosed, got messed around, landed up losing my job as a consequence, landed up getting broken up with, landed up getting, money docked from me, and then landed up having to go to hospital twice, had two discs replaced in my neck. My children have been withheld from me during this time. I'm going through the process of divorce. So, and all this time, where my default settings would have been to go and have some sort of therapy, some sort of healing, or at least do something like TRE, or at least do some yoga, I wasn't able to do any of those things because um, I wasn't able to move because of my neck. And so I went into a dark place. I went into a very, very deep spiral. And a lot of the deep underlying stuff, particularly the feelings of not being good enough, really stirred to the surface. And yeah, but I've always been someone who chooses the light. And you came into my world, and I knew that it was for a reason. And obviously that was what I chose on the 7th of January, just before my birthday. I wanted to go. I wanted to feel better on my birthday, and I did.
Amazing, yes. Right.
Yeah.
So that's actually what brought you to me is the fact that you are now all of your own sort of efforts to feel better led you to the path of actually realizing that underneath all of that was this feeling of I'm not enough. And that's where we went with our session, right?
Yes.
So we explored that whole I'm not enough. Look, most of us have the same thing, but in your particular case, you were found yourself in this stuck place, and luckily you turned to me, and I was more than happy to work with you. So tell me,
Yes.
Chet, what was it actually like having the hypnotherapy online?
It was a lot easier than what I thought it would be, to be honest. I mean, I had my doubts. I think I'd attempted some hypnotherapy in the past. I wouldn't say that it worked particularly well. So, but this time, I'm a little older, and I've done a lot more healing. I've done a lot more work on myself, and the barriers to healing have disappeared, and the ability to receive is a little bit different. So, your voice came through clearly. There was no interruption in what was happening, and it worked. I mean, that's at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We can intellectualize it all we want. At the end of the day, there was a shift. That's the key.
Amazing.
Was the shift.
And that's
Who I,
exactly where I
I
want
don't
to
know if
go.
it would have been better if I'd been sitting with you. I don't know, but it worked.
It worked, right? And you were in the comfort of your own surroundings and you were able to just
Yes.
concentrate on my voice, which was exactly what we need. A lot of people are skeptical about that part. So that's why I wanted you to speak
Yeah.
to that. Tell me, what are the biggest shifts that have actually happened for you now, 1 month down the line? How has your life changed?
You know, I think, Nidia, the first thing that happened was it's, I mean, I pay close attention to what's going on. And I just noticed that,
Mm.
there was this, where there was almost like I always look at the lights, but I felt like I had the darkness right there the whole time that seemed to just disappear. You know what I'm saying? And instead, all I could feel was the positivity. You know what I'm saying? All I could feel was like, yes, like this is my time. This is my year. You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff which was holding me back, you know what I'm saying, which was weighing me down, just all of a sudden it lifted. And so, you know, where I believed that I was going to go over there, all of a sudden there was a movement, like a much faster movement, and just much more of a belief in that, you know, like everything's going to be okay, you know,
A
like
belief
you've
in
got this,
what?
a belief in me, a belief in me, a belief in the future, a belief in the vision, a belief in my you know, in belief in the in just in like the creation of my vision board, or like my energetic vision
So
board.
what I got from your session is I saw someone who works hard anyway, who has, I mean, you've done so many different modalities yourself, you've studied so many things. And
Yeah,
my biggest challenge with you was, is this going to be any different? You know, you have all of this acumen. But what I aimed
yeah,
for was to give you a life reset, to give you a just
yeah,
sort of like a, you already were on the path. I just sort of like broke the shackles to what was holding you back. And sort of like
yeah.
that's what you're describing, that you now
Yes, that
fully
that's
yourself, you're more of yourself now. Is that right?
yeah, and more focused. I think that was the other thing that we focused
Yes.
on was, you know, that I've always been confident and always been, but I've been cursed by my own abilities because I can do so many things that I don't land up doing anything. You know, it's like, you know, I'm
Perfection paralysis as well.
yeah, it's just it's not even perfection. It's like a childish excitement of FOMO. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, what they're doing that over there. That looks like fun. I'm gonna go and try like be a golf professional. Oh, I want to try be an art auctioneer. You know what I mean? Oh, I want to try that. I want to do that. I want to do that. And so what happens is there's a measure of success in the sense of like
Mm.
achievement, but it never materializes into like an actual ongoing financial wealth because I lack the focus to kind of keep with it.
And
You
so
know, and
how's
the thing
that
of it is
changed
that
for you?
yeah, I mean, I'm a lot more focused. I mean, look, I'm very aware of the fact that, look, I've dropped, you know, I got 100 kilos to drop and I dropped 10, you know, but there's still 90 kilos to go. But the thing is, there's like, but the perceivable shift has happened in such a way that, you know, like having done with work with you, I ended up choosing something else afterwards, you know, which worked
Exactly.
concurrently and helped me focus. And then like, and so what happens is now I keep choosing these things. So I've gone from like, you know, learning how to meditate to like back to yoga to doing my trauma release exercise. And the thing is like everything is starting
Amazing.
to piece together. It's like I was missing this keystone, you know, and it's allowed me to piece everything together. And now everything feels focused. You know what I mean? And exactly like when you said you are like people are going to start saying, Chett, you're so focused and chilled. That is exactly what is happening. Exactly
That's
what is
how it
happening.
works. It's
Yeah.
amazing, Chet. I'm loving everything that you're saying. I'm definitely going to want to check in with you in 3 months'
Yeah,
time
well,
and six
I'm
months'
reading it off the
time.
script you gave me, Nidia. I'm reading it off the
Oh,
script you gave
yes.
me.
Good, good, good. I'll pay you later. So, would you do it again?
Yeah, of course I'd do it again. Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic. And would you
Of course I'd do it
recommend
again in
it
a
to
heartbeat.
anybody who's sort of feeling stuck? You know, let's not, you've had a lot of trauma in your life, as many of us have,
Yeah.
but, you know, let's not forget the coming out of a long-term relationship, a marriage alone, and all the stuff with your children and all that feeling of being stuck is where a lot of people remain for years and years and
Yeah.
years and years. And this is
Yeah.
this, like I keep saying, it's like having a reset button that just allows
Yeah.
you to become more of you and just move on and move forward. And I really feel like that's what it's done for you.
Yes. You know, absolutely, Nidia. I mean, look, there's only look, there's two types of people. There's people who are going to choose to be better, and there's people who are not. You know, and if you're going to choose to be better, choose something like this because it's, you know, just it's going to go, it goes down to a level that you can't get to normally. All the affirmations in the world and all the like, you know, all the doing the yoga and licking the back of frogs and, you know, whatever else you're going to do, all the mushroom trips, you know what I'm saying? They're not the same thing as going down to, you know, like the root level, you know what I'm saying? And cutting away some of those roots, you know what I'm saying? That are actually causing impurities because otherwise what happens is on a surface level, you're just clearing shit away all the time but you're not going to the root. You know, it's like you're popping the bubbles, but you have to go switch the bubble machine off.
There
You know,
you
and
go.
that's what
And that's exactly,
you help to go to the bubble machine and help switch the bubble machine off. And look, it doesn't mean
I
there's not
love
lots of
that.
roots. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's no like you know you could do hypnotherapy sessions ongoing for quite a, you know for a long time because the work is never done. You clear away one layer and the next layer pops up.
But
But
eventually,
the
what the
process you've got to
difference is,
start. You've got to start.
you've got to start. But the difference is that most therapies, even all of the ones that you've just described, are on a conscious level. So when we engage our conscious mind, there's only a certain level of depth we can get to. But like you said, the bubble machine is the subconscious level, and that's where we go. I mean, your first scene, not that I'm going to divulge, you went right back to being a tiny little baby in a cot. You know, those things we can't access with our conscious mind, but that's the root cause. It was where we needed to go. And in order to find that and yank that root out, we had to go there. So the difference in you on the screen, I mean, you are like a beaming light right now. And it's just wonderful. And yeah, I'm excited to see what else happens from now on. So thank you very much, Chett. And I
Yeah, it's
look
my pleasure,
forward
Nidia.
to working with you again.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise.
Take care.
I can't wait to see you in person.
Yes, that'll be nice too. Bye, Chett.
Bye, Nidia.